With the lockdown now starting nationwide in the whole of UK, how can we now maintain a level of driving ability? And even if you're in a different country or abroad, this video is definitely for everyone to watch because we're going to show you how to pick up some driving skills while you cannot drive in a car. There's going to be some really important tips in how to drive while you don't have access to a car, and also we'll probably talk about the theory test at the end as well. I can imagine what everyone's going through. Everyone's probably really down right now, really angry, frustrated, and really upset by the fact that they waited so long. They paid so much money for driving lessons, and now within a blinking of an eye, you guys have been told, been given an email that now you can't take your driving test, and probably you don't even know when the next test is going to be because we haven't been told that yet. So the first thing I'll say is get out of this negative mentality. You have to push yourself up. You have to stand up. You have to get over this barrier, this obstacle. And especially if you're a teenager right now, get used to it because that's life for you. You're going to come across loads more barriers, loads more obstacles to come. I know I may sound quite cruel, but at this stage right now, we just have to somehow get over it. We have to somehow live with it now. We're forced to live with it, so we just have to accept it. That's the first thing. So once you've accepted it, we can at least go forward and have a slightly positive attitude. And when we go through the ways to learn now, we'll be a bit more happy in ourselves, a bit more smiling, because you don't want to go into lessons or go into whatever field of learning. So we're going to show different ways of learning in this video, but you don't want to go into learning these things, learning how to pick up these skills with a negative mindset. You have to understand problems are not a stop sign. That's quite a good road analogy, right? So, okay, we had a problem, yes, but we're going to continue to go forward now. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. There's a little button in your bottom right hand corner. Click the button and we give you all the latest videos and the latest updates regarding your driving tests and your driving lessons. I'm assuming by now you would have received this email from DVSA, whether you're doing your theory test or your practical test. So hello, whoever it is. I'm just going to blur out the name. Okay, the government has announced that England will be put under new national restriction measures from 5th of November until Wednesday, 2nd of December to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. We are working closely with the government to agree the impact these will have on DVSA services. All driver and rider training and tests will be suspended in England from 5th of November until 2nd of December 2020. Your practical car on Tuesday, 10th of November 2020 at Isleworth Fleming Way will not be placed. So my student here received the email saying that his practical test has been cancelled on the 10th of November. So I'm assuming all of you students as well have received a similar email by now. One of the first method of learning to drive that you can do during the lockdown period is driving with a family or friend. So let's go through the rules first of what needs to be done in order for you to legally drive with any family member or friends. First thing is let's read it. This is on the DVSA website. Anyone you practice your driving with, without paying them, must be over 21. Be qualified to drive the type of vehicle you want to learn in. For example, they must have a manual car license if they're supervising you in a manual car, and have had their full driving license for 3 years from the UK, the EU, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, or Liechtenstein. You'll be fined up to £1,000 and get up to 6 points on your provisional license if you drive without the right supervision. You can drive with as many passengers as a vehicle can legally hold. It's illegal for your friend or family member to use a mobile phone while supervising you. Okay, insurance. Here we go. It's a big misconception to think that whoever's car you're driving, if they're insured, anybody else driving it can also drive it. No, you cannot. Unfortunately, no one's really taught this. Your instructor doesn't teach you this. I don't think it's in the theory as well. So let's go through the insurance rules in order for you to be driving legally. So insurance, you need your own insurance as a learner driver if you are practicing in a car you own. Your family member or friends will usually be covered on this. If you're practicing in someone else's car, you need to make sure the insurance policy covers you as a learner driver. Some insurance companies require the person supervising you to be over 25. That's quite important as well. I disagree with this. Your family members Let me read it again. You need your own insurance as a learner driver if you're practicing in your own car. Your family members or friends will usually be covered on this. So that doesn't make sense. So it actually kind of does. If you have your own car as a learner driver, I mean, most learner drivers don't have their own car, but if you have your own car, then I think it's trying to insinuate that most likely somebody else will be insured on your family member, because you can't be insured on your own car as a learner driver. So maybe that's what it's trying to say. Anyway, the point is, you have to get your own insurance as a provisional holder. You can get an unlimited fine, be banned from driving, and get up to 8 penalty points for driving without insurance. So a big risk here. If you're caught without insurance driving, and in this one you get a fine £1,000 if you get the wrong person supervising you. And 6 points improvement if you drive without the right supervision, 6 points. And here it's saying 8 points without insurance. So it's quite risky, but the point I'm trying to make to you guys is, if you don't have access to a car, if your family member has a car, I would say try to get a small car, a hatchback. Try not to learn in a big car, because the clutch pedals will be a lot more different. The feel of the car is going to be different. The power needed is going to be a lot more different. It might be a more powerful car as well. It's always good to learn in a small little vehicle. And if you do have access to it, make sure you get the right supervision and you're insured, and hopefully you can go to a nice quiet road and practice in it. Anyway, that's my first recommendation during the lockdown period in order to learn to drive. Of course, ask your family's permission, your friends' permission. I'm sure you will. And if they say no, fair enough, accept it. Because some people, even I remember when I was a young teenager, my dad didn't really want me to drive in his car. And as I'm older now, I can understand why. Your car is your baby, it's something you spent your money on, and it's quite risky to give it to a learner driver, especially a car that doesn't have pedals. Unlike us instructors, we have pedals. In order to stop you guys from making a mistake, they don't, so they're going to be a bit more reluctant. And if they say no problem, let's go through the second step in order to learn to drive during the lockdown period. So the second piece of advice would be for my students or any students who have been learning to drive. So you've had lessons and you're taking lessons regularly, say for example, and then now you had a test coming up but it's got cancelled. I'll say make sure, think about what you've been doing and write it down. As a teacher, as an instructor, one of the reasons why my students take lessons and they take more lessons than they should, and we always screw at them, we always tell them off, which is why you're forgetting some of the rules and regulations and routines that we have taught you. So I'll give you an example. When you're doing the parallel park, there'll be reference points. You have to steer a certain direction at a certain reference point. So my student, after one lesson, yes, we taught them. The next lesson, maybe they forgot. The third lesson, maybe they didn't do the maneuver. Maybe we're doing other things. The fourth lesson, we're doing the maneuver now, and they still haven't remembered it. But fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh, how many more lessons do you need before you need to memorize that particular routine? And we say to our students, especially those who have got a test coming up, which is why do you need me to remind you when to steer or where the reference point is? You should know it by now, especially if you got a test coming up. If you haven't got a test, fair enough, we can let you off. So as a student, in order to get the head start, do the homework now, write down the routines and memorize them. Okay, so we don't have access to a car, nor have we taken any driving lessons. What should we do during this lockdown period? How do we learn? Well, one thing you have to understand, when you take driving lessons, your instructor will be talking quite a bit, reminding you or teaching you the rules. And that teaching method can be cut out if you know what he's going to be teaching you or what she's going to be teaching you. And one way you can do this is by watching our videos. Watch all the videos that we've made. They're all on YouTube. We go through the teaching method, what we're going to be teaching you, what you should be knowing for your driving test. So if you watch that, so when you do start your driving lessons eventually, you'll be a few steps ahead. You know exactly what's coming at you. What should I do about my theory test? So I know your theory test has been rescheduled and suspended. What I'll say to you right now is carry on doing the revision, and if you haven't started it, do it now, because you never know, in the future you may lack the time that you need in order for you to do the revision. So go through the free apps. There's loads of free apps out there. There's loads of sites out there as well that go through the theory. So you don't have to really pay much for it. It's all free. It's all available. There's a few apps that cost money. Yes, if you want to pay, go for it. I think it's about £5 or maximum to £10, but prepare yourself for it so that when the time comes for you to do your theory test, you can smash it out. So those are the few tips I'll give you right now. I'm trying to make it as short as I can. We're going to have loads more videos. We're going to make practical lockdown videos for you guys to help you in order to learn to drive without the car. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Do like and comment and share and engage with us. It's only one click, but it makes a big difference to my channel. We're gonna, as I say, have loads more videos coming out soon, so watch out for it, especially during the lockdown period where we're just sitting around. So we'll make it a bit short as well, so that it's engaging and you don't get bored with it. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.